Hello, lovelies. It's Chi here from Golden Thread of Fate Tarot. How are you doing today? I'm here to bring you another channel message. I hope this message is finding you blessed and full of abundance, my sweets. Okay, so I have like a fat stack here of like pre-shuffled oracle cards. Okay, which I normally don't do channel messages this way, but that's how Spirit was guiding me to do it today. And then of course we're also going to read some tarot cards. I have no idea what this message is going to be about because actually I pulled these cards weeks ago besides just one or two three that Spirit asked me to pull today right now. So I don't even remember what these cards are, so we're gonna get into it first with the tarot, and then we're gonna go into the oracle cards for some more confirmation. Okay, so some of you are going to get something, or going to get some kind of piece of information, okay, or some kind of healing information here. So we have the Knight of Swords, the Page of Wands, the Hierophant, okay, and the Three of Swords in reverse to start out. So some of you are going to get some kind of really big piece of information that's going to come in like rather quickly and rather furiously. And with this combination here between this Page of Wands and this Knight of Swords, I'm really getting like it's going to light a fire under your backside, right? Like it's going to light a fire under you and give you a lot of inspiration to like really get started on a project or really get started on something. I mean, for some of you, it could be an opportunity to really like transmute something. It's definitely an opportunity to, yeah, so this is definitely going to be, for some of you, this is definitely going to be a download. It could come to you as a dream, or it could come to you like as like a vision or some kind of download, however it is that you receive your divine messages. It could come to you through meditation or in prayer, okay? Or it could even come to you through like some kind of religious leader, or you know, say that you go to your church or something like that, and like a deacon or like your pastor or like your priest or something is like, hey, wait, come over here to the side, and like gives you a little message. You're going to be like, whoa, how'd you know I just needed to hear that today? So let it resonate as it does for you, but it was something in the past. It's going to be you healing something and healing a situation, or healing. Yeah, it's going to be healing this new piece of information. Excuse me. Let me gather my thoughts. This new piece of information is going to be something that is going to help you to heal some time when you felt very rejected or felt very alone or felt like you missed out on an opportunity for something in the past. It's going to feel like where you were offered something and you should have been offered something in the past, but you never received it. Like Spirit is bringing that in back around for you, and it is a piece, it's some kind of piece of information, or you could be intuitively really getting hints that this information is coming forward before it comes in. Could be this reading, could be something else, you know. So Spirit wants me to turn over the, oh my gosh, the monk or the nun. So that is confirmation for some of you that it could be some kind of religious person that's giving you here selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to Spirit. So somebody here who has a very single-minded dedication to Spirit here is going to come in here and is going to deliver some kind of message that's really going to help. It's like lightening the load. It's like hearing somebody say something and you're just like, I can forgive, I can move on, I can let this go. Like it's not like I thought it was, you know? And I feel like this person is really helping you to overcome negative judgment of the physical world, okay? Or excess piety. So it even could be something that's like, hey, I know that I've had several moments along my journey where I felt like I got certain messages that made me feel like I wasn't good enough to be a part of the spiritual community, or because I looked a certain way, or because I like to enjoy doing certain things that mean that I wasn't being as spiritual, or that means I wasn't being as high vibrational. Or if I had like certain emotions that came up, I was just like, oh, these are negative emotions, and that means that I have entity attachments, and that means that I'm a bad person, or something like that. Or if maybe somebody in the past made you feel that way, I really feel like whatever this information is, and it definitely is going to be from, like I said, from some kind of spiritual person, or for some of you, spiritual or religious person, or for some of you, it could just be like a direct message from you, from God, from source energy, from the universe, right? Without Hierophant energy. But it definitely is some kind of something that's really going to help you restructure yourself. And it's really going to make you just be like, wow, like I can just move on. I can let go. I can forgive. I can, I get this. I get what's happening in my life. Okay, they want me to pick another one. Ooh, the Tower. Yeah. This is definitely going to be a big, huge tower moment. I kind of like how Spirit has like these cards set to the side and they're like, pick these up, pick this one up now. Oh, wow. Yeah. So there could have been time in the past here, like this imagery on this tower card where you felt like you were drowning, but like for some reason, Spirit is showing me this is like almost like you're like out to sea. So I'll show you the picture. Right? So it's like you're out to sea and suddenly out of nowhere, like there's this rumbling, like there's no land in sight, and all of a sudden there's this rumbling and like out pops up kind of almost like it's like that trope in like storytelling where the person is wandering in the desert and suddenly they come along come and they found the oasis in the middle of the desert, or they find some kind of help in the middle of nowhere, like right when you think that you're drowning or like you're not going to be able to make it, out pops this tower moment here. And the number 16 is standing out really, really, the number 16 of the tower card is standing out really strongly to me right now. So 7, yeah, the 7 is the number of enlightenment, is the number of like sudden realizations or awakenings. Okay, so some of you are going to have some kind of, especially with all this water, some kind of emotional awakening, especially with the 3 of Swords in reverse here. Some of you are going to have some kind of event or some kind of something happen, some kind of knowledge or information is going to come forward to you in some type of way. I mean, for some of you, it could even be like you're reading a book or you're watching a podcast or listening to a podcast, or you're watching, like, I don't know, it could be a TED talk, it could be, you could even just be, it doesn't even have to be spiritually related, but it is spiritually guided, so you could even be watching a movie or watching a TV show or something and have a situation play out in front of you, and just the way the characters are interacting with each other or something, you're like, like, wow, like that's something that I dealt with. Okay, so Spirit is asking me to do something and be very vulnerable in this moment right now. So I got really guided to watch that, it was a couple of months ago, to watch that old, like either like 80s or 90s movie, It Takes Two, okay, that had like John Travolta in it. And the lady, it has like the talking babies and stuff in it, right? And there is a scene in that, the lady is having an affair with her boss, who's married, who won't leave her boss, and she ends up getting pregnant. And so she ends up being like, oh, will you leave your wife now? And the guy ends up not. And she's like thinking, oh, I'm going to have to raise this baby by myself. And I'm going to have to, but a time comes when the guy comes back in the lady's life and is like, I want to meet my son after he has a son, after the baby's already born. And, so he calls her to his office and they're sitting there having a talk, and he's like, wow, he looks so much like me. And she's like, yeah, you have no idea how hard it is to look at somebody that you love so much and see the face of somebody that hurt you so bad or that you hate so much. And just being very vulnerable, this struck a really deep chord with me for some inner child healing that I really needed to do, because not a similar situation happened with my family, but my parents ended up splitting up and my mom was very hurt about what happened. And I look just like my dad. I look so much like my dad. And she said very hurtful things to me before in the past. She has when I was a child about me looking like my dad and how hard it was for her to look at me and see the man that hurt her heart so much, and she took that out on me in certain situations when I was younger. And so in that moment, I had this realization where I kind of was able to see things outside of my own pain from my mom's perspective. And I still don't feel like that makes what some of the things that she said right, but it helped me to understand her position a little bit more. And I feel like, yeah, of course, like I could get that, but just something about how I wasn't really expecting it, I wasn't searching for it, and then that scene just like popped up right in front of me. I felt so guided to watch the movie, and I didn't know why. It wasn't like it was a great movie that I just love so much or something, and I know that scene is why, because it provided a little piece of information that really has helped me to face some of the inner child wounding and healing that I have around that particular wound that I have from my mom, right? And so I feel like it could even be a situation like that where you are very much so guided to just watch something or do something or listen to something or read some book, and that person's going to say something, or you're going to read something, ingest some kind of form of information that's going to just be like, wow, like I've never thought of it from that perspective, especially around, I've been guided to do a lot of inner child healing here recently. So I really feel like there is going to be something here on your journey. You've probably been begging. Yeah, for some of you, begging, asking is what I was going to say. Asking, praying, for forgiveness, for being able to move on, for finding, like understanding in your heart, finding strength in your heart. And there is going to be some kind of situation where this like comes to you, this forgiveness comes to you. And I'm getting like this selflessness, right? You're going to be able to see things from others' perspectives. And actually, this morning on my channel, actually on my community tab, I actually shared a video that was by the channel Lavender, okay, that was about inner child healing, that was about healing your trauma from your healing past trauma. And that was one of the steps in that she went over in the workshop about, it's like seeing things from a different, being able to, now that you are an adult or now that you are out of the situation, being able to step back and be able to see the situation from other people's perspectives and to understand what they were also going through when that pain or when that traumatic event happened to you, and how it really helps and assists in forgiveness of you and forgiveness of other people around you as well, that you felt like did you very, dirty, or did you wrong, and so that's what it kind of feels like. It's giving me this energy. And I just heard that no man is an island, like we're not all going through this by ourselves, right? We're not, and none of us are without inspiration from outside sources. That's what Spirit is saying. So I definitely am getting this with this Tower moment, with like this inspiration is striking, and it's almost like, like this lightning struck and then like rose up this structure here, right? The structure here, and almost kind of like wow, I thought I was gonna drown, but then suddenly some kind of miracle happened, and up popped up. And it could seem like very like paranormal, like it could very much so seem like, it's like, wow, like how did I just happen to pick up this book or happen to turn to this channel right when this show, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll watch the show. And then, there's a whole scene in it that literally encapsulates exactly what I'm dealing with right now. Like, what? So it could be very like spiritual, very paranormal. It's going to be very like, oh snap. Okay, so what's next? Five of Cups. Yeah. So it's something that's really going to help you to really examine this kind of energy right here. That's kind of really worrying and having this spilled cups over the past, right? And now look to how it's kind of like this tower, like this energy's popped up here, and now this overwhelming ocean, this ocean of emotion that you felt trapped in, right? And the structure kind of here gave you time to breathe, gave you time to step back, gave you something to like, put your foot down on, so that you could catch your breath, so that you don't feel like you were drowning, right? And now that ocean has transformed just into a river, right? And that's progress, right? That's progress. And look how to, I know this is a gate here, but it kind of still looks like almost even like this bridge, right? It looks like, I know in this, but I'm saying like the similarities in the imagery is kind of like, it's like this bridge that's leading. I heard that bridge over troubled water. Okay, so it's almost like, this whole land now. So instead of feeling like, so Spirit is saying, one, on this healing journey, take the time to appreciate how far you've come, how much healing that you have done. Just because you're not completely healed and you haven't completely let it go and you haven't completely moved on from it doesn't mean that you're not making progress. And just because you still might be feeling some sadness, but you're not here, right? You're not overwhelmed. You're not like so burdened that you can barely catch your breath. You're not barely treading to keep your head or just keep even like your nose or your mouth above water, right? Things are getting better. So recognize the work and be proud of yourself for the work. Even though you might still be in the Five of Cups, you're not here anymore, right? So be proud of that in yourself. Be proud of the work that you have managed to accomplish, and for the fact that you might still be examining the past, but there is this hope of this Two of Cups energy being back here, right? There is this hope of finding those who, finding those friends, or finding that partnership, or finding that found family, or even healing those relationships with your friends or your family, or from estranged people, in your life. There is this hope that when you're done, right, examining this Three of Cups that you have spilled, you will be able, whenever you're ready, to turn around and see that there is a Two of Cups here. That's so strange. I don't think the Five of Cups has never given me the feeling of hope before. But in this situation, oh, it's reminding me of Abraham, like Esther Hicks, who is always saying turn to your emotional guidance system, and that there are levels to it, right? That there are levels to your emotion. And sometimes you can't jump up. You know, it's like a 1 to 20, I think is the scale of it. Like 20 being like the darkest, lowest vibrational emotion that you can feel, and 1 being the highest, purest form of love that you can feel. Sometimes you can't come, from an 18 up to a 2. Sometimes the best you can do is reach for a 10 or reach for a 6, So don't expect, you know, don't it, it's okay. It's okay for you to not be all the way healed. It's okay for your healing to be a process, and it's okay that it takes time. It's okay that some days maybe, the best that you can do is a 6. That's okay. That's okay, because it's better than 2 days ago when you were a 10, right? It's better. So every little bit is progress. And from going to a Tower to a 5 of Cups, well, that's hope. That's progress for the future to come about, right? And what comes after, in the tarot, what comes after the Tower is the Star card, healing, hope, right? 17, the hope for a better and brighter future. And that's, I feel like, where a lot of you are, a lot of you are in this energy of getting this hope. Yeah. You were really in the process of turning this 5 of Cups into an 8 of Cups and really walking away and truly being able to let go of this. This is so beautiful. Okay, what's next? Oh, you guys, yes. It's Kuan Yin. Oh, yes. And then look, she has the butterfly there of transformation, right? Oh, yes. Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion. I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. Oh my gosh, you guys, right? I recognize my suffering. I see, okay, I was at the Tower. I was just in the turmoil. I was drowning and I was barely making it. And then I got this information, I got this enlightenment, or you will be receiving this enlightenment, right? Depending on where you are. So let the energy resonate as to what part of this journey you're on, right? But wow, right? You, you stepped up and you're seeing that there is hope, even in the dark, even in a card that a lot of people see is like, is sadness, is loss, is, but it still has the possibility, right? Even in the sadness of you right now, you're looking, right? I turn towards my suffering so that I can release it. You are examining things in the past right now so that when you will be ready, right? And Spirit is saying, when you are ready, you'll be able to turn around and see that 2 of Cups is there. It's a promise of a better tomorrow here. Wow, this is beautiful. Oh, this is so gorgeous. I want to show you guys. Yeah. You guys, a lot of you might be working with the energy of Kuan Yin, whether you realize it or not, right? Oh, this is so synchronistic. This is so crazy too, because these cards are actually shuffled out months ago. They were a like 3rd or 4th pile in a tarot reading that I never ended up even uploading, because I think I did like 1 or 2 piles and then I ended up having to, like, something happened. I ended up having to leave, and that pile it's just been sitting there waiting for me to film it, and I'm just like, I don't know, I just don't feel, it doesn't feel right. And it's so crazy that now that this is coming up now, and it's so synchronistic, it's so gorgeous, I love it. It's in that I see that beauty and that hope, turning a situation that felt like, oh, I'm frustrated because I have to stop in the middle of my filming. And then once I got back, I was gone for like hours. And then once I got back, I really didn't feel like doing the reading anymore. Several things had happened that had me like, just really had pulled me out of that energy of the reading that I was doing. And it just never felt right to go back to it. So it's beautiful to me that this is the reading that comes out of this pile of this cards, right? It's so amazing. It's so amazing, and back here behind Kuan Yin, is it cherry blossoms? I think they're cherry blossoms. Or is it I think it's cherry blossoms. And it's so interesting because I watched Mulan not too long ago, and it's reminded me of the scene in Mulan where the like Mulan and her father are sitting there, and she's just come home from the matchmaker, and the matchmaker is like, you're never gonna find somebody, and she's sitting there crying in the garden, and her father like goes up to her and is like, oh, such beautiful cherry blossoms, and he's like, look, this one hasn't opened yet, but it's like, but I bet when it does, it will be the most beautiful one of all, right? So you might feel like that you have been that cherry blossom sitting there waiting to open, waiting to recognize yourself. And I feel like that's kind of what this healing in your soul is telling you right now. Like you know, you are in this whole process right now, and it's okay. It's okay to love yourself at every stage of this process. It's okay. You're the strength, right? You're finding your strengths. You're enduring through this process, and it's okay. It's not, with this Five of Swords right here, I'm getting like sometimes you are your own worst enemy, but yeah. But the world, but that is for a lot of you, that's a chapter that's really closing. Yes. And it's closing because what's behind the Eight of Cups? Because you're walking away. Oh my gosh. I love that so much. Oh my gosh, you guys. And for some of you, it has been your own mind. The Eight of Swords is a mental prison of your own making. You are convinced. And because you are convinced of things that happened in your past, maybe you think like you're not worth love, but Spirit is telling you that Two of Cups is waiting for you, right? It's waiting for you. This partnership with Spirit, this partnership with yourself, this partnership with friends and family and people who really love you and accept you is waiting for you, right? And it's going to come in. Opportunities are opening for you. And when you're ready, when you're ready to really turn around and really walk away, from this, and it could have been a really long time, this could have been a process that you've been healing for 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, and it's okay. But when you're ready to really walk away and to see that it's, that to turn around, right? To turn around and face it. When you're ready to turn around and face this suffering that you have been holding on to, you will see, in that you will see that you haven't been, suffering through this alone, that your spirit guides have been with you, and they've been, leading you and pointing you towards a lesson that will help bring about, that the hardships that we go through are opportunities to learn lessons and to examine things inside of our characters, examine things inside of us that we might have been taught or we might have been led to believe about ourselves that just doesn't serve us, it just really doesn't serve us. However, what does serve us is turning around, facing it, and healing those insecurities, healing those projected wounds, healing that rejection, there is strength in what you have gone through in your past. You are much strong in this, and you're realizing that. I feel like a lot of you are realizing how strong going through this rejection has really, and for a lot of you, it's really strengthened your connection to the divine as well. It's strengthened your inner capability, and going through this has strengthened your discernment, has strengthened your authenticity within yourself, has strengthened your ability to really focus and know what is for you and what is not, right? And to be able to have the strength to identify that not only outside of yourself, but also within yourself. Oh, you guys. This is beautiful. Okay, I'm being guided to pull the next card. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh my gosh. It's Sekhmet. The Red Lady. I am pure strength. I honor my anger by giving voice to it. Look at oh my gosh, you guys. I feel like I could cry. This is beautiful. Look at that. Oh, the synchronicities. I love it. Oh god. Yo, it's magic for me. It's really, really magic for me. Like, God, you guys. That's why I'm always like, thank you guys so much. Because being here and doing this channel, like making this channel, making these messages, delivering this is just as healing for me as it is for you guys. I promise you. And it really makes me believe in magic, you know? It's beautiful. Um, God, it's so beautiful. I am pure strength. I honor my anger by giving a voice to it. So for a lot of you, this is about you learning how to not turn away from the suffering that you have endured, but to face it, but to look at your shadow, to not turn away from your wounded inner child, but to look at them, to acknowledge them, to understand them, to give them a voice, right? Parts of yourself, right? Our shadow is parts of ourself that we have been taught or that we have chose to reject away from us, right? Which gives it this negative connotation. Like most of us, our shadow is like um, it's like a little kid throwing a temper tantrum, wanting attention, wanting affection. And what do little kids do? They don't have the emotional capacity in most chances to be able to verbalize, I'm upset because this, and this. So I feel like this, and this. They act out in school. They throw a temper tantrum. They throw a fit and throw themselves down on the floor because they can't eat their own Band-Aid. Like stuff like that, right? Where you're just like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this, right? And Spirit is saying, because there is this energy inside of you, right, that needs to be transmuted. See the ankh there, right? There is this energy inside here that needs to be transmuted so that you can reconnect to that core, to that true self that's within you. Don't turn away and don't just label, feeling sadness, right? Because, yeah, don't just label feeling these tower moments as absolute negative things. Don't just label feeling anger or feeling sadness as a negative emotion that you need to swallow, or that you need that, like I was saying earlier, like, oh, if I feel this emotion, I'm not being high vibrational, or I'm not being as spiritual. How can I be leading, my collective when I still get angry, or when I still have fights with people in my life? Like how am I worthy? How am I worthy to do that if I'm still going through that? Or how am I worthy if my diet is not quite right, or my weight's just not quite what I want it to be? But Spirit is saying, like, no, you are worthy. You are worthy. Stop rejecting and turning these aspects of yourself into shadow, because every part of you is worth acknowledging, and is worth, and it gives you strength. Every part of you, even the parts of you that you're not as proud of or that you don't like, or even things in your past that I've brought up shame, have brought up anger, have all the events of your past have led you to the exact moment where you are now, right? And if you are happy with the person that you are growing into, then you have to acknowledge that the person that you were in the past helped you get there, right? And so don't isolate from them. Don't say, oh, whatever, I'm not my past anymore, or I'm ashamed of that part of myself. Like, don't try not to be that way, because every part of you, even the parts of you that you maybe felt like, well, I wish I hadn't quite said that or did that. Spirit's like, I totally understand that. But you going through those experiences is exactly what led you to being the person that you are now. And if you hadn't gone through that, you might not be being here, having this awakening, going through this, finding this enlightenment now, you know, and, you know, this experience, the suffering that you went through has allowed you to understand what it's like to need to heal from that, and to put in the work to heal from that. And I honestly do feel like a lot of people out here that are a part of my collective are light workers, are people who are meant to go through things to become teachers, to help other people understand what it's like. Even if the people, it doesn't have to be on a big giant scale. You don't have to be people that are making YouTube channels or writing books or doing those things. Maybe you're just changing it within your own family dynamic. Maybe you're just going through this so that you can know how to heal, and know that your kids or the future generation or the people around you won't have to deal with it again, right? And it doesn't have to be on this like huge major scale, right? But there are so many of us, whatever our roles are in being the light workers that we are, no matter how perceived small or little. Nothing is small and little. Everyone is playing a key role in the divine plan, right? And every situation, every experience that you can have, no matter how much it, whether or not it was suffering, or whether or not it was pure joy, all of the experiences that are you, all the parts of yourself, every person that you have met, whether you label that person, you know, like one of the best people you've ever met, or this terrible narcissist you hope you never meet again, they have all combined together to make you the person that you are now. And if you are becoming and growing into a person that you love, that you're learning to accept, which I pray and I hope that every single one of you are, right? Then you have to acknowledge the important role that everything that you went through, you know, is combining together to make you who you are now, right? You're not strong, you know, you're not strong despite the things, you know, despite the negative things that happen to you, right? For many of us, there is a path that we come to where that we understand that we are strong because of the things that happened to us in our past. We built up strength because we I don't want to say endured, but we learned how to make it through it, right? And there will be some people who are ready to receive that message, and there are some people who aren't. It's okay. I'm not trying to trigger you, and I'm not trying to tell you that it was a good thing that you went through terrible things in your past. That's not exactly what I'm trying to say, right? But you know, everything that you go through makes you who you are. And there are parts of you who want that acknowledgement from you, right? It's like you spent a lot of times in the past like kind of compartmentalizing parts of you, saying, oh, when I had a negative experience and I, you know, and I turned to alcohol, or when I was, you know, oh, I went through my whole phase in college. That's not me anymore. That's not me. But it is you. But it is you. And just because you have learned to evolve outside of that behavior does not mean that you going through the experiences that you went through does not highly influence the person that you are now, right? And it doesn't mean that you have to keep living those energies or seeing yourself as that person, but don't negate those parts of yourself and how those experiences helped you grow into the person that you're becoming, right? Ooh. Oh, my throat chakra. Mm. Nice. Ooh, nice. Thank you, Red Jasper. That was beautiful. Also, some of you might be not only Red Jasper, but also some of you might be really influenced to work with Carnelian. Carnelian is a big energy for me personally. Anytime that I work with the energy of Sekhmet, like she reminds me of the energy of Carnelian, like a Carnelian stone. And for me, she's just really associated with that kind of energy. I love working with Carnelian. It's one of my favorite stones. Okay. Where to? Let's keep it going. Ooh, you guys. It's the Five of Cups in reverse. Exactly. So a lot of you are, you know, you're at the phase now. Some of you are definitely, with that World card coming out, some of you are definitely at the phase of being ready to turn, you know, to really turn away and to. So I feel like a lot of you have been working on shadow work, right? A lot of you have been working, really focusing on that Five of Cups energy. And now Spirit is saying like a lot of you are really ready to turn around and really start partnering up and being ready for that Two of Cups energy. Not necessarily only in love, but just mostly with yourself. Like ready to just be like, ooh. Queen of Swords in reverse. So I feel like a lot of you are being asked to work on boundaries, especially I saw it with that Seven of Wands that was up there. Why is this energy here? Oh, okay. So I feel like a lot of you could be working here with this kind of Queen of Wands. No, I keep on saying Queen of Wands. I'm sorry. It's a Queen of Swords in reverse. This could be a fire sign for some of you, or it could be an air sign for some of you, or just like that energy in general. Because it's not, for some of you, it definitely is a person. Okay, it's a person that had a very harsh, that has very rough boundaries, that has a really big lack of boundaries, of giving you your space, of respecting you. They have a very like harsh way of communicating. They can be very like, they can tear you down a lot, you know. Is that kind of, and it could be for some of you, this could be an inner voice. This could be a person that gave you this type of like really judgmental and really kind of like, I think that's what I was kind of getting, that Queen of Wands in reverse, which usually gives me like this very like judgmental, I'm better than everyone kind of energy. Um, this Five of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, it's almost like this kind of, because with that, I'm getting like making things worse. So be careful of any kind of like negative self-talk or intrusive thoughts that you're having right now. Also be mindful, and be mindful of being around people that kind of have this kind of energy towards you. You know, like when you talk to them, they want to talk down to you, or it's like totally they say like totally unnecessary things like, why'd you even say that? You know, kind of be aware and kind of just like distance yourself from people, even, you know, the people that kind of make you feel this way right now, because you don't, like, your energy is kind of being like very sensitive right now about that kind of things. So it's kind of like put some distance in between you and this kind of like harsh words here as well, as this kind of energy where this five of Pentacles can also give you this vibe of like sanctuary, right? Of finding sanctuary. And so with the combination of this Queen of Swords, I almost say Queen of Wands again, Queen of Swords in reverse, and this Five of Pentacles, this definitely could have to do with your childhood, or like parent wounds, or, you know, it doesn't have to be a parent. For some of you, it's a teacher. I just heard a teacher, or somebody like a babysitter or a teacher, somebody that watched you or babysat you when you were a kid. They were just like really mean and harsh and just like rude to you all the time. You could be dealing with a person in your life right now that like really reminds you of that person, and you're just like, ugh. You're like, why are you here? And that's why this person is here, to kind of like face this kind of energy, to bring up like this energy. So you might not even really like this person. For some of you, you could be like, oh, like you could really recognize you don't like this person because they remind you of that abusive person from your past. But for some of you, you could just be like, oh, I just really strongly dislike this person. And you might be coming to the realization like, yo, that's it. They remind me of whoever, you know, they remind me of my grandma, or they remind me of my mom or my dad, or this really abusive kind of person from my past. That's really why I don't like them. And this energy is like, oh, why do I have to deal with the person? Because Spirit is asking you, have compassion for yourself and really like face this energy. Face this energy that's within yourself, right? That's why this, like, this karmic person has come up in your life right now, so that you can, or did come up in your life so that you could face this. Oh, let me tell y'all, I dealt with a person at work that really reminded me of this energy. And I'm gonna tell you, that person no longer works with me. Not for real. But, so I no longer have to deal with that person at work anymore. But, which I'm grateful for. But I saw that when it came up. I was like, ooh, I'm like, I really, oh, you remind me of this person. And it gets on my nerves. It gets on my nerves. And I did some healing work around that. So I definitely feel like some of you are definitely being guided to do that same thing. Okay? Ace of Cups. Like, Spirit is here. Yeah, so Spirit is saying this Two of Cups right here is you and Spirit like partnering together to like get this work done. Or you and your spirit guides, you and the universe really partnering together to have this brand new passionate beginning, right? To really, right? Spirit is saying like, boom, I gave you this tower moment so that you could really have this energy here, and you could recognize it within yourself, something that you were not seeing, you know, maybe even, like I say, like this negative self voice that you have for yourself that might have been echoing this kind of talk that you got from this person, you know, and you might have been ignoring it and staying blind to it, not realizing that it was there. And it wasn't until you came upon this person that represented this energy on the outside that made you kind of reflect inward and be like, actually, I talked to myself that way, or I did that, you know, like, I don't, I need to change that. I need to change that. I need to, star card, get the healing that I need. Okay. On to the next card. Bring love into the situation. So absolutely. And oh my gosh, you guys, look what's behind that. It's the Nine of Wands. These are karmic energies here that you were learning from, so that you could bring, so that Spirit could shine a light on it and bring healing to this situation, right? To bring self-love into this situation, right? Allow Spirit to pour right? Temperance energy, pour. It's also Sagittarius energy here. Or, yeah, I don't know why I said Sagittarius, but okay. I was going to say it's Aquarian energy is what I was trying to say. And it's funny that this new moon in Aquarius and the star card came out, you know, at the same time, both being this cup bearer, okay? Pouring this healing energy of love through, you know, again, the cup bearer, you and spirit. You know, spirit is coming into this situation, dipping in, highlighting this energy from within you, highlighting this here, you know, this 5 of Cups energy that needed to be healed within you, right? So that you could bring love, bring self-love to this situation here, so that you could forgive yourself. You know, a lot of which it takes time in your spiritual journey to get to the place, but you realize that when you are forgiving other people for things, negative things they've done for you, somehow psychologically you really have to start forgiving yourself as well, right? You forgive yourself for, you know, staying, you know, getting yourself into that situation to begin with. Say it was a lover or somebody that you chose to be with, or it was a friend. You're like, forgive yourself for staying with that person for so long, or not seeing the truth of who they were, or lying to yourself about the situation, right? Forgive yourself for not speaking up for yourself in the past, right? Staying silent about abuse, or staying silent about things that you went through in the past, right? So it's about you pouring this incredible self-love, and then also how bringing the love, the energy of compassion to the situation, and compassion for the other person as well, you know, helps in like just letting go of all of this, right? Because forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you, right? You don't ever have to talk or deal with that other person ever again to forgive them, right? Or to find, you know, and it might be a lot easier for you to learn how to forgive yourself. You know, it might be years in the future before you forgive that person. Or I don't know, for some of you, you might never get to a place where you can fully 100% forgive that person, but you can get to a place where you feel a lot more healed about what you went through, right? About the suffering that you went through, bringing compassion, bringing love into this situation here. Ooh-wee. And again, a lot of you are receiving that message, or receiving that call, or receiving that you know, that kind of energy there. A lot of for some of you, this could have been about you, like I said, you know, really dealing with a very emotionally manipulative person. Or for some of you, dealing with an emotionally unavailable person. I gave the story about, you know, about my personal story earlier that I was dealing with, you know, some healing work that I'm doing with my family, you know, how, you know, my dad leaving caused a lot of pain in our family. And I've gotten to the place now where I can understand a lot more about what happened between our family. But, you know, it's still a thing that you work your way through, right, when you're ready. And of course, don't let me telling the personal story make it where it has to be that same story for you, right? It's whatever we're talking about here, you know? This doesn't even have to deal with your family if it doesn't for you, whatever this event is, right, that we're talking about here. But there's a Sagittarius energy that I was talking about, temperance, right? Because I talked about that, right? About how this, you know, was like that temperance card, spirit coming in with the cup here, pouring that healing energy into your life to help bring peace and harmony and understanding, right? To bring the dawn of this new day energy here with the sun rising in the background, right? You know, the irises here, yellow irises. Spirit is also encouraging some of you to plant yellow irises in your garden, or like irises in your garden. My irises that I have in my garden are coming out. They're not yellow, but I do have a lot of daffodils coming up in my garden right now because it got really warm, and like all these daffodils just shot up and like bloomed everywhere, which are yellow, coming up everywhere. So it's this kind of energy of this like happier sun energy coming out here, especially emotionally with this moon card here. Pay attention to pay attention to what sign the moon is in right now. It should be, is it Gemini? But also, no, it's in Pisces. Like it just passed through Pisces. But anyway, also be aware of what sign your particular moon sign is in, right? And examine um, how emotionally you're really dealing, how emotionally you have the tendency to deal with this. Yeah. So that came out again. How you tend to emotionally deal with things. I'm hearing Aquarius again for some of you. No. Okay. That's the next card, but they want me to pull. Ah, new moon in Scorpio. Work through your fears. Okay? So work through your fears of facing this issue. Work through your fears of confronting this issue, or work through your fears of allowing yourself to feel hurt, feel angry for things that happen to you. You don't have to act on those emotions, right? You don't need to fear a lot of these emotions that people call low vibrational and negative emotions. You just don't need to allow. It's about how you react and how you decide to act. What do? Do you decide to release? Do you decide to bring love into the situation, or do you hold on to that? Do you stew on it? Do you allow those emotions to influence you to project and to become a hurt person that hurts other people, right? Then those emotions are only a negative based on, one, they usually don't make us feel so good, right? But also it's about how we decide to interact with those emotions. If you decide to say, oh, I'm a bad person every time I feel fear, or every time I feel anger, or every time I feel pain, then you're going to run away. Then you're going to not face those emotions, which end up are going to have them still hanging on to you, right? And then it becomes low vibrational, because it pulls down your vibration, because you are turning away from how you truly feel. You're not being true. You're not living in your authenticity. 4646 down the clock. It's time, yeah. Work through your fears. It's time for you to face this. Step into this King of Wands warrior energy, where you're standing up for yourself, right? Where you're ready to fight, where you're ready to not like literally physically fight, but you're ready to fight off this fear here of examining yourself, of getting deep with yourself, right? With that Scorpio energy. Allow the scorpionic transformational energy to come in for you, right? Ooh, King and Queen of Wands. Wow. Some of you here are about to have a very deep, like, soul partnership come in here for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be like romantic. Um, King of Pentacles as well. There was so much energy behind that King of Pentacles too. That's crazy. Yeah, with that Knight of Cups in reverse for a lot of you, yeah, but it is going to be like this reuniting. It's going to be something that your soul has really been waiting for. This could be an earth sign person coming into your life here. But I really feel like Spirit, it's giving me this kind of like Three of Pentacles energy, where it's like you and somebody else like collaborating together. Yeah. Look at that. I knew. How did I know that was going to come out? I just knew. I knew that Queen of Pentacles was going to come out. This is also a pair combination we've been talking about a lot on the channel. I feel, because this King and Queen of Wands are, the way that it fell on the table, this King and Queen of Wands are looking at each other on a soul level. So I feel like physically you're at a distance from this person, because this King and Queen of Pentacles is looking away from each other. So I feel like definitely you and this other person, it feels like soulmate energy could definitely be like spiritually recognizing each other and spiritually turning towards each other, but physically seemingly, or you could be away at a distance with that Three of Wands coming out, a distance from each other. Physically at a distance, but spiritually like calling to each other here. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. Six of Cups, that reunion card energy, right? Soulmate union energy with this Page of Cups here. Did you guys hear that? Why are my neighbors firing off right now? Who mad? Somebody's mad. Somebody's angry. Somebody don't like that. I really feel, yeah. It's this Queen of Swords in reverse. I literally just did a reading the other day where that same energy came out. Where I talked about here about how there was soulmate energies coming here together that had this soul recognition within each other. But physically, not as, they didn't recognize each other as much, but soul-wise they did. And there was indeed a Queen of Swords that was very mad. In that reading, it was tied to the masculine energy, but let it be what it is for you, right? Yeah, there's a fear and there's anxiety here. This Queen of Swords energy right here is a fear and it's an anxiety. Could be family. The Ten of Pentacles here. I feel like, you know, whoever you identify yourself as in this situation, okay? I feel like you and this person are going through this very same energy right here that we've been talking about here. You've both been examining this kind of letting go of things that happened to you from the past. Yes. Yes. Gaining independence here with this Nine of Pentacles. Gaining independence, Tower, through these Towers energies that have been happening. Oh, okay. What's next? Shapeshifter. Transform and unveil your gifts. And the Hermit card. And I stopped right on the Hermit card. So for a lot of you, you've been going inside and doing this Hermit energy here, transforming, transmutating your energy and unveiling, you know, your true strengths, you know, learning compassion. Like I said, everything that you're going through has actually been, you know, is actually given you a gift of strength, of understanding, of compassion, of the ability. For a lot of you light workers, you're going through this, all of this, whatever this is, specifically the details are different for all of you, but what you've all been going through, right, is really going to help you on the other side of this, is really going to help you, you know, unveil your gifts as a light worker here, right? And help you transform. You know, it's going to bring about that justice energy for yourself, your wish fulfillment here for yourself, right? And for a lot of you, I feel like it is this need to seek justice for events that happened in your past, you know? And I feel like for a lot of you, your justice is going to look like just walking away and being happy and not having this Five of Pentacles, having this Five of Pentacles, having this Five of Cups energy, right? Being in this Three of Swords in reverse energy, your justice is going to look like you're getting your wish fulfillment, which is, I don't want to carry this around with me anymore. I don't want to feel stuck in the past anymore. I want to have compassion and love for myself. I want to give voice to my anger and transmute it into something more constructive instead of destructive, right? Channeling that destructive anger energy into something constructive, right? Just like how Isis can be in her Hathor, right? She can be in the goddess Isis. She can be in her mothering sweet energy, or she can transform into Sekhmet, right? Who is the embodiment, who is the lioness version of her, who is the embodiment of vengeance, of anger, right? For the god Ra. And finding, this is about you finding a balance here in this justice energy. Thank you, Spirit. This is about you finding a balance here between understanding and having compassion for you know, having this compassion energy, but also having this fire energy, having this, you know, because many times we feel anger, and underneath we feel justified in our anger because underneath it there is a pain there is an injustice there. I am angry because something that should not have happened to me happened to me. So it's not the anger that's the issue. Most of the time it becomes the way that you allow yourself to channel that anger, right? Are you becoming a hurt person that's hurting other people, or are you channeling that anger into the need to want to change your situation? You know, I'm angry because this person hurt me. Let me change my situation. Let me learn how to get away from this person. Let me learn how to never be like that person, You know, let me transmute that anger into lessons, into understanding, into strength for myself. Let me transform my insecurities into understanding and into compassion. You guys, this is beautiful, powerful energy. You guys have really powerful, like feminine goddess energy working with you right now. Seriously. Glorious. Oh yeah. Wheel of Fortune. This is about that Wheel of Fortune turning. Oh yeah. Oh, what's the next one? Spring. See your seeds grow. Exactly. This is about you coming into that fertility with that Queen of, I almost said Queen of Wands, but yeah, it's this embodying here. I don't know if you can see it. See that rabbit and the Queen of Pentacles in the corner there, right? This is also about right now, if you're watching this as this is going live now, we are transitioning over from winter to spring because I'm talking about how it's getting warmer and the flowers are blooming and whatnot, right? There is this energy of peace that you are going to find here. And and being aware that when you rip up these weeds and rip up these things and you tend and cultivate your garden, you will be, and being aware of, with that Seven of Pentacles energy that came out earlier, you know, being aware of what seeds that you're sowing. Are you sowing seeds in anger? Are you sowing seeds in judgment? Are you sowing seeds in want for vengeance? Or are you sowing seeds in the want to have a more beautiful, peaceful, compassionate, loving future for yourself? This is important, right? Because even if you don't, even if it's subconscious, even if you're subconsciously planting these seeds for the want of revenge or anger, or to show the people from your past, I'll show you, you know, that kind of energy, spirit's not going to let things that you really want grow there, right? This is about you cultivating your garden and seeing your seeds grow and being aware of what seeds it is that you're planting. You know, are you standing in your truth? Or are you actually planting seeds of self-sabotage? What are you doing? You know, and it might feel like you're planting those seeds to get back at other people, but really, honestly, all you're doing is creating karma for yourself and creating more self, you know, and sabotaging yourself in the future. You are your own worst enemy sometimes. You know, are they really the problem, or is your anger, you know, is your anger or your denial or the parts inside of you? Like how I had to realize that that person that, yes, you know, that person that I was working with, they didn't have to act like that. They didn't have to talk down to me like they did. They didn't have to treat me like trash like they did, right? But that person was in my life for the time that they were in my life to point out these things, right? To steer me back to the fact that I was being blind to some things that were inside of myself, and some things that, some anger issues that I had with the person that that person reminded me of from my past, right? And how I had some characteristics of that person within me, and how I needed to examine those things and be aware of that, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so spirit is warning you right now to be in consistent energy with this Knight of Wands. Be in consistent energy. Don't, you know, try not to like run full-fledged into something and then, you know, not it's like this energy of not thinking and just doing something and then being like, oh, later, like, why did I do that? Why did I give into that? You know, be aware of the seeds that you're planting. No, you know, like, know why you're doing and saying the things that you're doing, and with that awareness comes more power, right? You know, having the power and the strength inside of yourself to respond, not react to things, right? To take your time, to know that you don't, not everything that everybody says deserves a response. Not every energy that somebody brings to you is worth matching, right? Sometimes it's worth for you to just choose your peace and walk away and not engage and not, you know, and not fight, and not, you know, even if you see it as you defending yourself, or you seeing it, you know, it takes you out of your energy, then you have to work to get back into your place of peace, right? Know when it's worth, when there are battles that are worth you sticking, you know, that are worth you fighting or worth you making a, you know, making a thing out of, and know when it's not worth it, you know, when it's just more worthy to be like whatever and walk away from it, right? To choose your peace sometimes, and to be consistent with choosing your peace, right? Okay. Ooh, mountains. So right now, some of you really are being asked to stand your ground, right? To stand your ground and to not give in to this anger, to stand your ground and to not give in um, to not give in to this want to kind of remain blind and just turn away from it, because it's hard to look at, or because it's heavy to look at, or because it hurts you to be aware, or to be honest with yourself about some of the things that you really experienced in your past, right? But it really is time. It's time to forgive. It's time to move on. It's time to find compassion for yourself. And for a lot of you, it is really going to help you to find compassion for the people that hurt you. Doesn't mean you have to find forgiveness right now. Does not ever mean that you have to be okay with what happened to you or what they did, right? But you can find some peace in the fact that you are not in that situation anymore. And if you are still in that situation, your peace is out there once you decide to walk away. Eight of Cups. To stop remaining blind to the pain that the situation is causing you and to walk away. And that's when you will see your seeds grow, right? Okay, what's this card? Y'all, Spirit is freaking unbelievable. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Come on now. Come on now. Okay? Okay. And again, for some of you, it's not going to be parents, right? You can interchange parent with, like I said earlier, teacher, or whoever it was that had that authority energy over you, right? That really got you in this place, right? In your past. Could be your parents, could be other family members, could be friends, could be lovers, whoever it is. But as healing these issues, right? That you had with the past, and understanding that you will be able to love a lot more in your present moments, that you will be able to forgive, that you will have a lot more love and forgiveness and compassion for yourself as you learn to forgive the people from your past, right? And a lot of it, Spirit is focusing on you forgiving for yourself, right? So that you don't have to deal with these emotions anymore. So that you don't have to pretend like, oh, I'm not angry about that anymore. Oh, I'm not upset about that anymore. But yet that energy comes out in subconscious ways. You explode on people, or if somebody reminds you of a person, you're like, I'm gonna attack that person, but you're over the past. Are you really? It's time to stop lying to yourself about those things, and to really, and for a lot of you, I feel like you've already come to that realization. So that message is for a few of you, right? A few of you have been really, there's that part of your journey, there's that thing in your past, there's that event in your past that you have been avoiding, that you have not been looking at, because you're like, it's going to hurt so bad when doing that shadow work comes, right? It's going to hurt so bad to really examine. And there's, for some of you, you haven't been digging deep enough, to the pain, to the hurt. Maybe you've stopped at friends, maybe you've stopped at lovers, and you haven't made the connection to, like, oh, I was dating people that reminded me of my absent father, right? Or, oh, I was dating people that reminded me of my judgmental mother. It's time, right? And for a lot of you, you've already come to that realization, and you're like, gee, I know. And I'm trying to heal that, okay? And I'm getting over it. And but it's time for you to really stand up, And I'm hearing that Ludacris song, that stand up, when you move, I move, just like that, right? And so, but the situation is here is like, don't, right? Just because somebody else moves like that doesn't mean you have to move like that. Just because somebody else reacts like that doesn't mean you have to react like that. Just because somebody wants to stay mad doesn't mean you have to stay mad. Just because somebody wants you to stay engaged with them doesn't mean you have to stay engaged. Like as in, like, engaged as in giving them your energy, as well as engaged as in actually physically engaged. For some of you, okay, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you're getting married in an hour. If you know in your hearts of hearts you're not supposed to be marrying that person, okay? That's just for some of y'all, okay? That's so crazy to me. That's so crazy to me, because, and that's really funny, because that level of kind of like forgiving yourselves, because it really hit me, because I would pass by this stack of these cards sitting here and I would just keep going, oh, like, why haven't you gone back and made that video yet? Oh, why haven't you gone back and made that video yet? Like, oh, you're being lazy about it. You like, oh, you allowed something that happened to throw you off, and you're not doing what spirit asked you to do. But for a lot of you, you're going to be having this realization, like, whether I understood it or not, like, I actually was doing something. And the fact that these cards sat over there outside of my decks, outside of all different kind of reasons, that's what I kept telling myself too. I'm like, the decks are missing these cards, you know, like, you're missing parts of these cards from your decks, and they're not, you know, being incorporated in other readings, and, you know, like, get on it. And there's a lot of healing and forgiveness in this pile for me, in this pile, yes, in this reading for me as well, is about accepting and understanding that things happen for a reason. And although you might not understand what the reason is, you know, and although some things, you know, and it's easy for me to say that when it's about, you know, allowing a deck of cards to sit there, you know, and it can be a lot harder to accept that when it comes to some very hurtful and painful things that spirit's asking you to work through now, you know. But you're going to make it there. You're going to make it there, and you're going to understand, right? So have faith in yourself that you're going to make it through, and that you're going to understand why what happened to you, right? And why it happened the way that it did happen. Okay? That's crazy. That's beautiful though. I loved that. And then the fact that they just like so perfectly synchronistically like came out like right when they needed to, like, y'all, oh my god. That's just so amazing to me. Thank you guys so much for all that you do. Thank you for being here and being a part of my life and being a part of my spiritual journey. I really appreciate it. I'm really appreciative to your spirit guides for guiding you here, to my spirit guides for helping me to deliver this message, and to guiding me through it as always, as they do, and protecting me while I do so. Okay. If you guys liked this message, give it a like. If it resonated for you, let me know in the comment section down below if you feel comfortable doing that. Okay. If you are interested in getting a personal reading from me, okay, my contact information is in the description box down below, okay? Thank you guys so very much, as always. You guys know I have to tell you, like, thank you like 6 different times before I go. If you like the content, give it a like. Help me out. Give it a like, okay? If you dug the vibe, think about sticking around and joining the tribe, okay? I really appreciate you guys, as always. And I will see you lovelies in the next one. Oh, wait. What? So I'm hearing red rum. I don't know if some of you are being guided to watch The Shining, or if you recently watched The Shining. That's kind of, I don't know. But I don't know. You know, you don't ever know. I don't ever know. I don't ever know. How that's going to be significant for you. Okay. Somebody with the name Jack might be significant. What was the little boy's name? I can't remember. I'm not that I don't like The Shining, but I've watched it a couple of times, but and I'm like, wow, it's, I feel like it's a good movie, but it's not. I'm not really into horror movies that much. But, well, certain types of horror movies. I don't know, something about ghost or time travel or something like that might be kind of being very significant for you right now. Or like I said, for some of you, mazes. Something about like mazes, because there's like that hedge maze that's in there. Yeah, so that's what I have. Thank you guys so very much for being here with me as always, and I will see you lovelies in the next one. Bye.